Hi there, welcome back for another episode of Writing Club, part of the new series where I show you how to get a Band 7 from different questions that are taken from IELTS Writing Task 2. And in today's video, I will show you how to get a Band 7 for this question on your screen. So let's read this together. An increasing number of professionals, such as doctors and teachers, are leaving their own countries for more developed countries. What problems does this cause, and what can be done to solve this problem? So, to answer this question, we will break things down into 3 steps. Step 1 is to highlight the most important parts of the question. Step 2 is to write out our plan, and this part is very important. And finally, step 3, which is to write out the essay. So let's get started with step 1, and let's highlight the most important parts of the question. Well, the most important parts are usually the question itself. So let's highlight what problems does this cause, and what can be done to solve this problem. So let's highlight this as well. Now, let's read the question again and see if there's anything we can highlight from here. So, an increasing number of professionals, such as doctors and teachers, are leaving their own countries for more developed countries. Well, the question is asking us about professionals, and is given as an example here. But we don't need to highlight that because we've highlighted professionals are leaving their own countries for more developed countries. Well, let's highlight this, okay? So now we've highlighted professionals leaving their own countries, and then we've highlighted the question itself. And that's all you need to highlight. If you think that is too much, you can just only highlight the question or even parts of the question. But now that we have done that, let's move on to step 2, which is to write out our plan. So for our plan, what we need to do is give one problem and then provide a solution, and then give another problem and provide a second solution. And that should look something like this. So I'm just going to highlight this plan, and let's write problem 1. So, what can we say is a problem? Well, if lots of professionals leave their home countries, professionals usually get paid a lot of money. If they leave their home countries, then that means there will be less money left in the country. So, problem 1, I will write poorer countries or underdeveloped countries might struggle to improve their economy. Okay, that's one problem. Now let's write out a solution. Well, one possible solution is for the government of these poorer countries to provide a financial reward to professionals for them to stay in their home country. So, for example, if there was a doctor who is about to leave the Philippines, I've just mentioned that country as an example, but if the doctor from the Philippines was about to leave to go to Australia, but the government of the Philippines says, if you stay, we will give you $10,000 every year, maybe the doctor might not leave. So that's one possible solution. So let's write that down. Governments of poorer countries or underdeveloped countries could provide a financial incentive to professionals to stay in their home country. So that's one problem and one solution. Now we need a second problem. So a second problem could be that if a doctor or a teacher leaves an underdeveloped country, that means that these underdeveloped country will have less professionals. Imagine you live in a country where all the doctors have left and there's no more doctors left. That's a huge problem. So let's write that as our second problem. If professionals leave their home countries, there will be there will be less professionals left in underdeveloped countries. Let me just fix the spelling of this. Okay, that's problem 2. So how can we fix this problem? Well, if these professionals leave their home countries, maybe they could pay an annual tax. Annual just means yearly. They could pay a yearly tax to their home countries in order for them to keep their passport. So let's use that as our second solution. Emigrating professionals could pay an annual tax to live abroad. I'm going to change tax to fee, like a penalty. There you go. So that's our problem done. Now, don't worry too much about the spelling or the grammar of the plan. You do not get marks for the plan. The plan is only there to help you, to make it easier for you when you write out your essay. So now that the plan is completed, let's move on to writing out the essay. So I'm going to title this answer, and we can get started. Let's put this in a box to make it easier. Well, that looks much nicer. Now let's move on to writing out the essay. And a good essay usually has 4 paragraphs. The introduction, the body 1, body 2, and the fourth thing, the conclusion paragraph. So we are going to start with the introduction. And the introduction only needs to be 2 sentences long. That's it. And a good introduction should look like this. So all we will do is reword this sentence. And we can do that by using synonyms. So in this question, it says an increasing number of professionals. So instead of writing an increasing number, I'm just going to write more and more professionals. More and more professionals. And here it says such as doctors and teachers. We can leave that because professionals means the same thing, so we don't need to mention it twice. Then it says are leaving their own countries. Well, here I will use synonyms for their home countries. More and more professionals are leaving their underdeveloped hometowns. That's some nice words there. And why are they moving? To move to more developed countries. And this is causing many issues. Okay, so sentence 1 is complete. Now we will move on to the second and final sentence of our introduction paragraph. And in this sentence, all we need to do is tell the examiner what we will do in this essay. So we can write something like this. This essay will talk about the problems this trend causes, and later it will talk about some possible solutions to these challenges. Now, let's read this paragraph and see if it is good or do we need to change a few things. More and more professionals are leaving their underdeveloped hometowns to move to more developed countries, causing many issues. Okay, that's fine. That's good, actually. This essay will talk about the problems this trend causes, and later it will talk about some possible solutions to these challenges. Well, there's a couple of things that could be changed here. One of them is that both sentences are a little bit long. If one sentence is long, that's fine. If both of them are long, it's still fine, but we don't want to keep repeating this throughout the essay. So maybe we can leave that as it is. The second thing that I think we should definitely change is this term here, talk about. And we need to change that because, first of all, they are very basic words. And secondly, we've used it twice. We've mentioned it here, talk about. And then we've mentioned it here again, will talk about. So here I will change talk about to this essay will outline. That's a synonym for talk about. And remember, synonyms is a very easy way to get those higher marks because we will be marked on the vocabulary that we use. So we want to use higher order vocabulary. Okay, so we've changed one thing. So we don't need to change this, but I'm going to change it anyway, just to show you the style of words that we need to be using for a Band 7 plus essay. So I will change this. We'll talk about to identify. This trend causes, and later it will identify, there you go, some possible solutions to these challenges. That's perfect. I love that. And that's a total of 38 words. Okay. Now, a good introduction should be between 30 and 40 words. Okay. It doesn't have to be exactly within that range, but generally speaking, from my experience of marking probably thousands of essays, or maybe, thousands of essays, hundreds of essays, I don't know. But that's the sort of range that we are aiming for. Okay, now that this paragraph is complete, we can move on to the second paragraph, which is called Body 1. And in Body 1, all we will do is talk about problem 1, which is here, and then talk about the solution 1, which is here. And then we will repeat this for paragraph 3, and we will talk about this problem and solution. So let's move on to paragraph 2. So we can start paragraph 2 by just going directly straight to the problem and introducing it like this. One of the main problems that I'm going to use arise, the word arise. One of the main problems that arise, that means to come forward, that arise when professionals, leave their home countries or countries to work in more developed countries, is that underdeveloped nations struggle to improve their economy. Okay, so let's read this sentence here and let's see if anything needs to be changed or if we can move on. One of the main problems that arise when professionals leave their countries to work in more developed countries is that underdeveloped nations struggle to improve their economy. Okay, that's fine. I have used developed, 2 times, so I could possibly change that. So actually, I will change it. I'm going to write poorer nations. Okay. Poorer nations. Let me just fix the font and the style. There you go. Right. So that sentence is complete. Now, all we need to do here is provide the solution. So, what was our solution? Well, governments of poorer countries could provide a financial incentive. Okay, that's fine. So, we can start our second sentence by saying a solution or a possible, sorry about this, capitals, a possible solution, it's hard to say, to this significant, remember we're showing off our vocabulary, a possible solution to this significant problem, but I want to change the word problem to the word issue because I can see the word problem here. So this is a lesson for you all that we don't want to repeat words over and over and over again. If we repeat them here and there, that's fine. But if we can use synonyms, use synonyms. But make sure that your synonyms come naturally. Don't try to use words that are very unnatural. So yeah, and I will talk about that in another video in a bit more detail. I'll make a video about how you can use synonyms. But let's carry on with this for now. So a possible solution to this significant issue is for the governments of these poorer countries to provide incentives to professionals. Okay, that's fine. We can end it there, but I want to add more detail. So why should they provide these incentives or these rewards to professionals? Well, we want to do this so to encouraging them to stay in their home countries. Okay, now that's our second sentence done. To save time, I won't read this again, but you can pause it and read that again if you want to. Now, that's technically our whole paragraph done. But remember, we are aiming for a band 7 or higher. So we've given the problem and we've given the solution. Now, to get those higher marks, we need to add supporting sentences. So a supporting sentence is a sentence where you add extra information. Two easy ways to do this is to give an example or talk about some type of statistic. I hate using this word, statistic, or mention past research. So again, give an example or mention a statistic / research. So let's add a statistic here. I will say research. Okay, you can say statistics have shown, or you can say research has shown. Okay, so I will use the word research. Research has shown that the number of professionals leaving, I don't want to use home country, so I want to mention a specific country here. I think I mentioned the Philippines before, so I will mention that again. And just as an example, I'm just mentioning the Philippines just because it came to my mind. You can mention any country, really. Philippines is a country that I love dearly. I love their cuisine, the chicken adobo, halo, many of the things. It's a beautiful country. But anyways, I'm getting carried away here. Leaving the Philippines, capital letter for the name of the country. Okay, so professionals leaving the Philippines for work has significantly reduced since their government started offering free housing to professionals who seek work in their hometowns. I think that's a really good sentence. Really pleased with that. I'm really pleased with that. Now, one important thing here. This sentence, I said use some type of statistic or research. Well, this statistic, this research, I've completely made up. Okay? Now, that should be another lesson for you all, which is that the examiner is not checking if you are telling the truth or not. The examiner only cares about your writing skills, and that's the only thing that you will get marks on. You will not get marks if you are telling the truth or not, okay? So just thought I would mention that. Now, let's continue. Right, sorry I keep moving the screen up and down. But now let's move on to paragraph 3. And in paragraph 3, we will talk about our second problem and then give our second solution. So our second problem was, if professionals leave their home countries, there will be less professionals left in underdeveloped countries. Okay, that's fine. So paragraph 3, we can introduce it by writing another problem or another issue that comes forward. I don't like comes forward. That emerges. Another issue that emerges. That's just a synonym for another issue that arises, whichever one is correct. Now we can just talk about our problem. So this word here, emerges. This is another example of, the type of vocabulary that we should be aiming for, or to get those band 7s, band 8s, band 9. Okay, so another issue that emerges when people leave their home country to work in more developed countries or nations is the shortage of professionals left in poorer countries. Okay. Now, I don't like this sentence that much. It sounds a little too wordy. There's too many words there. And I've used lots of long sentences. So perhaps I can shorten this sentence, or I can give an example to strengthen the argument. Now, for this essay, I'm just going to give an example just so I can show you how to write an example. And how can we do that? Well, we just write, for example, comma. Don't forget the comma. And then we mention our example here. So, for example, I'm going to say that, for example, the number of doctors in Bangladesh is lower than the countries near Bangladesh. Okay, and then I will say, and then I will talk about the solution. Okay, now again, Bangladesh is just another country that I randomly just picked. It could be any country. Okay, Pakistan, India, Syria, Yemen, any country. Okay, for example, medics in Bangladesh. For example, the number of medics. The number of medics in Bangladesh is considerably lower. That means a lot lower than neighboring countries. Okay. Now we've mentioned this. I think we still need to give more information. Okay. It's lower than its neighboring countries. So what? Who cares? What does that even mean? Well, we need to mention that why people are doing this. Okay. So we will write, this is because medics from Bangladesh often move to countries that offer higher salaries. That's a nice sentence. And the reason why that is a nice sentence is because it sets us up for our solution perfectly. So we can write a possible solution, but I think we've already used that. So I'm going to write an effective solution to this major issue is to impose a fee or a penalty or regular tax, actually, on medics leaving poorer countries. Sorry, spelling error here. Typo, really. Medics. Now let's see how that reads, okay? So an effective solution to this major issue is to impose a fee. Impose a fee just means to, give out a fee. To impose a fee or regular tax on medics leaving poorer countries. So that's our solution there. But we need to explain why this is a solution. How do we know that this actually helps? So remember, a solution should fix the problem. That's what we're aiming for. So let's talk about why this is a solution. Okay, this would allow medics. So I want to say that this, by adding this fee, it would allow medics to, support their home countries, and it will still allow these medics to live abroad and benefit from the higher salaries. Actually, that's a really good solution because the professional, in this case, gets to do both. They get to support their home country, so the home country is happy, and they also get to live abroad and benefit from the higher salary. So let's mention that, actually. This would allow medics to work abroad and attain higher salaries. That just means get higher salaries, while also making sure that their home countries can benefit from their regular tax, okay? While also enabling their home countries to enhance development through extra tax revenue, okay? Lots of nice words there. And I think that paragraph is complete. I think that's a beautiful paragraph. It'll definitely get a band 7 or higher. I will need to look at the writing rubric to see what band we could possibly get, but it'll definitely be a 7 or higher. And now we can move on to our conclusion paragraph. So, how do we write a good conclusion paragraph? Well, first, there's a couple of things that we should not do. We should never introduce a new point to our conclusion. The conclusion is just a summary of everything that we have already talked about. And another thing is we need to make sure that the conclusion is not too many sentences. Ideally, one sentence or maximum 2. And we want to go straight to the point. And an easy way to do this is just to start with the word to conclude, comma, or in conclusion, comma. So I'm just going to write in conclusion. And then we will just say that poorer countries, these underdeveloped countries, will remain like that. They will remain, underdeveloped unless you follow my solutions, okay? And then you can give an example of a solution, but remember, no new points. So our example should come from the essay itself, not a new example. In conclusion, poorer countries will remain disadvantaged unless solutions are implemented. And now we can give an example, such as government incentives, why, to retain professionals and taxation policies for those working abroad. So both of those examples, the government incentives and taxation policies, both of them were mentioned in my essay. Now, that is our essay complete. So here is our essay, and you can take a screenshot of this, but I will make this free to download in the description below. And that's the end of our essay. So if you benefited from this video, please hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, or if you want me to answer an IELTS question of your choice, put it in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.